Dolph Lundgren learns about S&M and so much more. We saw Jill Rips, so you know what that means.
Show with Nick Crow and take a boat speed to hitting cruise control. J-Man, Big Paul, and the beautiful June. Gonna take you from the groove all the way to the room. Rain against the street fighter, help to blow off steam. Just a sucker punch the odd life of Timothy Green. Sharp needles, birdemic, how we staying alive. They call me the badass and he's on the line. Cranking 88 minutes cause they cool as ice. Cause the bad Jim Varney looking kinda nice. Falling June getting literal, Jason is getting laid. June is making sure all the monkey shots getting paid. There's just a bunch of movies while they're making the grade. Here's a real question for you, how did this get made?
Hello, people of Earth, and hello, people of Los Angeles! Oh boy, it's our first live show of 2025. I can't believe it. And we needed to make it about Dolph Lundgren getting tied up, getting beat up in the 70s? Yes, Jill Rips is a period piece. All right, if you don't know about Jill Rips, you probably got questions. You probably think, well, this is a movie about like Jack the Ripper, but like maybe it's like a female Jack the Ripper. No. Not really. I mean, maybe in theory, but nothing on screen tells us that. No character named Jill. You might be thinking, well, this is an old movie. This came out a long time ago. We can forgive things. Nope. Came out in 2000, which is old, but not that old. Not even the 90s. This is a 2000 film. And the tagline is, here very, very interestingly enough, imagine if Jack the Ripper had a sister. And I guess then forget that because it doesn't play into what this movie does at all. IMDb describes it as a tough guy. Who wrote this description? A tough guy goes undercover on a personal mission of vengeance into the hardcore world of S&M to find out who's responsible for the death of his brother. Well. I tell you the cast, but doesn't make a difference. It's Dolph Lundgren. That's all you need to know. In an action movie with not much action, but a lot of punches to the face. People are getting punched in the dick and face a lot in this movie. There's so much to discuss. There's so much to break down, but I can't do it without my two co-hosts. Please welcome to the stage, Mr. Jason Mantzoukas.
What's up, jerks? Yeah! Here we go! What's up, Largo? Yeah! We fucking did it! First show of the tour!
We are on tour, but we have not left our homes.
This is how I want every tour to be. I get to do a show and go home? Oh, I want my bed in every city!
Celine Dion, you genius. You figured it out.
I mean, I'm sitting here being like, why do I have to be in Boise soon? That's right, I'm taking shots at Boise. Get fucked, Boise.
You and I, we love bad action movies. I've never even seen the cover of this, heard of this in any way.
Paul, I don't know what this was.
Yeah.
This movie is a conundrum. It is wall to wall, I don't know. And I loved it. This was so compelling.
I really think there's so much to talk about. So much to talk about, but I will say that I watched the last 5 minutes behind your back in the room. You let me in there. I wasn't just watching you. Not behind your back.
I was in the bathroom.
It's okay. It was cool.
I
was watching the movie. And I walked out in disgust, but I still liked the movie.
Oh, I kept writing in my notes. I don't know what's going on.
Nope.
I think this scene, the scene where she's in the red bathrobe, I believe is 15 minutes long, and it's riveting.
It's called drama, people. And somebody who knows about drama and bad wigs, and there are two of many bad wigs to mention in this film.
Yes!
So many bad wigs for no reason. No reason. At one point, I feel like they kept an improvised line in, like, get a bit of wig. It's like, that was not in the script. At no point did they say, this guy's wearing a wig. Anyway, June Diane Raphael.
Yes, let's go.
How are you, June?
I'm well. How are you, Paul?
I am well. And can you, not to put you on the spot, but...
No, you started talking about wigs without me, and I had to run out here.
That's your signature. Well, that in the early days of the podcast, you had a segment that was wig talk, that was.
And I was a resident wig spotter.
Yes.
Now I have to say though, the haircut of Jill Rips.
Now, is that a full name?
No.
Is that a name of a character? Who's Jill Rips in the
There is
movie,
no
Paul?
Jill. There is literally no Jill in this movie.
There's no Jill Rips?
No, there's a Matt, there's an Irene, there's an Eddie, there's a Francis, there's a Big Jim.
She is Jill Rips though, and she's got... I honestly thought about this in the car right here. I was like, I think that is the most unfortunate haircut I've ever seen on a woman. I don't know that that's a wig.
Well, that's what I thought
and
too.
That's
because
what's worse.
Everyone's wearing the shortest haircuts and shortest
and also
wigs.
the longest.
Yes. And so Jill Rips, I felt like she has the short brown hair that I kept writing, why is this wig here? Obviously, the blonde hair is going to be underneath this brown wig. And in fact, no. Jill Rips is hiding the blonde wig.
I thought that Jill Rips, who's not Jill, but I thought that was Cindy Williams from Laverne and Shirley.
Oh, I love that. Did anybody else? I kept confusing Jill Rips and the accented man for each other in
Well, because they have the same haircut.
In longer shots.
That's what I thought. Like
because they have the same profile.
And I thought for sure we're leading to that moment because they made such a big deal out of the fact that the killer was right-handed, and I was like,
did they?
Yeah, in the beginning.
Didn't notice.
In the beginning, when they're going over Michael's death and how he died, 57 cuts to the genitals. But when
After
they're
he
going
was
over
dead.
that,
After he was dead.
Yeah.
You can get 57 cuts on there. That's
shallow
a big dick.
Cuts.
That's
Shallow.
a big dick. 57 cuts is so many cuts for a dick?
Just
like
with
this.
paper. It's paper cuts. All paper cuts.
Oh, yeah, okay. Just little. And was it like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Just counting off days.
Curious. Like days in jail.
But when they're talking about that with the coroner, he says that the killer was right-handed. And I thought, I cannot wait for when the man with the wig, Polish Elvis, is mistaken.
By the way, that's our shirt. Polish Elvis.
I cannot wait for them to think it was him at one point and then realize he's a lefty.
Well, June, I think you're watching too much Severance. You're looking for clues that are not going to add up.
That wasn't
There's really
available.
only one misdirect, and it's like the builder man. And, like the guy who's like the
mayor, Big Jim.
Oh, Big Jim, yeah. And he's really the only misdirect, and he's very easily gotten rid of.
Well,
and we never hear from him again.
Almost immediately.
Yeah. So I couldn't tell you, genuinely, the plot of the movie.
No. I want to try to break it down, but I want to ask you both a question.
It's not the movie, certainly, that I thought it was going to be.
100%.
With Dolph Lundgren in a Rambo-style fatigues jacket, military jacket, I was like, this is going to be a Seagal, Stallone-style.
I thought it was going to be like a take on First Blood, like that kind of thing. He comes home, but no, it's so much weirder. Here's a question I just want to ask, and I want to get this out of the way. How many kids are discovering dead bodies on average?
Okay.
I feel like that's a trope. I never discovered a dead body. Did you guys discover a dead body? No.
No, never.
Never.
I'm
Not
still
once.
hoping. But I
You don't think you've aged out?
I don't think I can call myself a kid anymore. That's
Anybody
bummer.
in the audience ever find a dead body?
As a kid?
Oh, one.
As a kid? Where?
Okay,
okay.
Doesn't count.
Doesn't count.
Can I ask?
Doesn't count.
No follow-up questions?
No follow-up. But if you were a kid, I'd have a lot of follow-up questions.
Criteria. Well,
But I
what's
did
so
think that-
funny about that scene, though, is they are two very young kids. Too.
Very
like,
young
to the
kids.
point where you're like, they shouldn't be out alone.
Well, here's the other thing. They are at the shore. It's iced over. They're at the shore. It's iced over. And they're throwing rocks. They're having a blast. Ha, ha, ha. And it just pans out to reveal bodies. Like right there. And then pans out to reveal further police boats fishing the bodies out. If you walk down to the shore, wouldn't you notice that is happening and
Well-
not throw rocks for a minute?
Well, here's the other thing. I think those cops kept those kids on the crime scene for way too long.
Yes.
And they also put them in a cop car. I'm like, are you arresting the kids? Are they suspects?
Where
they were
are
just
their
throwing rocks. I think the guy was already dead.
Also, there's so much outdoor voiceover. Like, clearly they couldn't get a single piece of sound recorded outside. But the kids, the voices of the kids are absolutely voiced by adult people. And the woman who's voicing the little girl, who can't be older than 5 or 6.
No.
Is like, oh, did you skip the rock over there? Yeah, a little bit further, Timmy. I'm like, that's a grown woman.
I want a divorce, Gerald.
But lo and behold, we find out that is Dolph Lundgren's brother. And then we...
Not the kid.
No.
The
Sorry,
kid
the dead
is
body.
Dolph
The dead
Lundgren's
body.
brother.
By the way, the kid could have been his brother, just a younger.
The body.
The body is Dolph Lundgren's brother. He comes home, and then we go to this wake where they're playing orchestra music as if it's like Ethan Hunt is walking through like a fancy opera scene. Like, I mean, this is a low-rent house in Boston, and there's this music coming in, and then you have Dolph Lundgren reading the paper in the middle of his own brother's wake, and then this is my favorite part of this movie is, well, maybe not the favorite, but one of my favorites is the camera pans over what Dolph Lundgren is reading in such a way that I don't know what I'm supposed to be taking in. I don't know what the title is. It's like going across like left to
It
right
was
like a typewriter. I'm
so
like, wait, I didn't see the whole thing.
So quick. Something about the tunnels and Big Jim. It was so quick.
Just give me an
That scene
establishing
was
shot.
all exposition. Everybody had exposition in that scene. None of it stuck with me whatsoever.
None of it.
So much so that, like, in the next scene when they're in the cold room, I'm like, why are we in a cold room?
The best part of that scene, though, is when Dolph Lundgren looks up and says to his cop friend, like, who is that fox?
Yeah.
And we cut to her.
Yeah.
It's the hair.
Yeah.
Well,
you know?
I mean, and
So shocking.
it tells us a lot
And it is,
about.
who is that fox? At a wake.
It's like, wow.
And the reveal is that it's his dead brother's new wife.
And I
What?
will say, and no offense to this at all.
No disrespect.
No disrespect. It does tell us a lot about his character that he thinks that is the sexiest woman
ever
Yeah.
seen.
he has seen. Which I'm just like,
Ever seen.
okay, I
Also-
now know a lot about him.
It also somehow speaks to, like, that both brothers found her to be the sexiest person
Alive.
Like, what
Alive.
shared history do they have familially that they were both looked at her and went, what?
Oh, but
I gotta get that.
Eyes. Tongue.
Bong, 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 bong.
By the way, both brothers have like something actually something very terrible happened to them as children because they both have the most fucked up views of women. And both of them, by the way, like when we find out, okay, Dolph Lundgren hits a dog, grabs an older woman by the hair and throws her, shoots another woman after hitting her multiple times. He is violent. And the story we hear about, I think why he was let off the force with the prostitutes and marching
I
them
want to
down
get
the
into
streets.
this.
I kept on looking at that mom like, what did you do? What
Okay.
What happened to these children
That
in your
mom
home?
is incredible.
Haunting.
The moms, these movies have like, they will truly lose you, you know, and I'll be like, ugh, what is this? This is crazy. And then something will happen. And it, for me, was the scene where she's saying, get out, get out. I was like, this is incredible. Amazing. What I'm watching is incredible. I don't know what it is. This movie, I know I've asked for this before, and we got just a absolutely phenomenal version from Avril, but this movie, more than any movie, needs a David Lynch trailer because there's the red curtained room. There's all these Lynchian things. This movie is weird, man.
Well, this is what I will say. I want to talk about their fucked up relationship with women, but I will also just give a tip of the cap to Dolph Lundgren, who... Is he a good actor? I think he is.
Well,
I think
what's amazing?
He is a good actor.
He wins
great.
no fights.
Right.
He loses every fight. He's an action movie star who loses every fight in the movie. He's so concussed throughout.
It's so hard, though. Like, first of all, is obsessed with his journey. He does stop drinking at one point. I hope we all know that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that he does and he doesn't. He still has the flask in the later scenes that he's still pulling out. But when he gets into the fisherman sweater and the green coat, that is game over. That outfit is lights
And then
out.
when he's in like full après-ski attire.
I mean,
very end.
incredible. Driving a Jeep Grand Wagoneer in a white fisherman sweater and
That's a star.
that jacket, I was like, we are in business.
Yeah.
Tie me up, shibari style, Dolph. Yikes-a, Mike's-a, what's up?
I mean, you know,
Stone Cold hunk.
He really, like, nothing says I'm an undercover cop more than wearing a fisherman sweater to a house of prostitution. Like, I mean, I'm just here to buy some sex from some
I love that
women.
he's wearing a transmitter. He's wearing like a wire or a transmitter. But it basically looks like they've just taken like a transistor radio, opened it up and pulled out the whole thing and just shoved it in his jacket. It's crazy looking. And you're telling me this movie came out in 2000?
Yes.
No, that's not right.
But it was like
cannot
shot
be right.
in 86?
That's the great work of the production designer to make it look like a movie that was shot in 86. I do want to show you, this is, let's see here. This is the scene with the fisherman sweater and him giving his order.
I'm blown away by this TV, by the way.
Yeah.
That look at it.
Mark off the preferred activities list, Jack.
Well, I'm pretty open.
Can we turn on closed captioning?
You're not an edge
I'm just
player,
kidding.
are you?
No.
Let's go through some of these. Discipline,
Sure.
cross-dressing,
No.
baby games,
No.
bondage,
No. Yes. Yes.
animus,
No.
anal,
No.
tickling,
Maybe.
toilet training,
I'll have to think about that one.
humiliation,
I've had enough of that this week.
humiliation.
No.
I'm going to put you with Randy.
And here's the thing. She is filling out a form. Like, there is a form that she is going to give to one of the sex workers. Like, here you go.
So we see a close-up of the form. The form gets its own insert shot. She's also wearing like half of a Catwoman mask. Like she has like a Phantom of the Opera mask in that it's half, but it's like a Catwoman in shape.
It's the 70s, baby.
But is it? When is this take
77.
place? 77. Okay.
Now, June, you were saying that like the relationship that he had with his mom is very messed up, and I agree. I think that he enters this world where he's like, what is this? What is S&M? But the act that he performs, which is he gathers up a bunch of sex workers, makes them take off their shoes, walk in the rain, and sing Bible songs so they will be clean. That just said like, oh yeah, I heard about that thing you did. That's fucked up. That's a kink. I don't want to yuck his yum, but that is
That's 70s Boston.
Like, I didn't even...
That you know what? That's present day Boston.
I just didn't understand what that was. Like you can't say that and be like, oh yeah, I identify with that character. I got it. Yeah. You wanted to make all the sex workers just get clean and sing songs because they fear
so
God.
Hard. He does explain it at the very end, but I was left even more confused because his explanation is like he wanted them, yes, to find some sort of redemption. Although I guess he doesn't, question the men who purchase the prostitution at all. That I guess is fine. But then he says, but then I saw them and they're just them and they're just people. And then that's the end of that. Like I couldn't.
Yeah, it's almost like it's some sort of baptism or some sort of like washing away their sins.
But that's fucked
That's
up.
what he was
That's
going
like
for. Oh,
crazy
yeah.
fucked up.
Yeah.
Like he's like, I guess I gotta baptize them. I'm a cop. The reason why he is fired is because he's rounded up women, made them walk in the street barefoot to get clean in the eyes of the Lord.
He's a 70s Boston cop. He's a villain.
Yeah, he is a villain.
He's a villain.
He's also so dumb. Like the scene where he goes into not Jill Ripp's, but Jill Ripp's sister's lair. When he's there and he's
Irene
Are we
Rips.
saying that?
Irene Rips, yeah.
Oh, the nurse.
Wait, do we
Not
think
Irene
it's-
Rips, Francis Rips.
Oh,
Okay. Wait, I just want to make sure that when we were talking about Jill Rips.
You're talking about Mary O. I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm talking about
Hold on, you're referencing names.
You're
that I have.
talking about Francis?
Mary O.
Are you talking about Francis
I'm talking
Reed?
about Francis Reed.
You got to do better for me. You have to say like woman in nurse's costume, brother's wife, or
Well, brother's wife is Jill Rips.
Okay, that's
Character
okay. All right,
named
I wanted
Jill
to make sure.
Rips.
Okay, yes, okay. That
I
Yeah.
went on Amazon X-ray.
So-
Jill Rips is her name.
okay.
So Jill Rips' sister, Francis Rips, or Francis Reed.
Francis
Okay.
Reed is the name on the mailbox.
Yes.
got it.
She, when he's in her lair and
Yeah.
he's set up this sting operation with the cop who's outside, I could not get over that he put himself in that position. What was his plan? And I know he said, I'm going to say boots should things go sideways, but
But why wait until the ball
Why?
gag is in?
literally.
Like, why not be like, okay, I guess
What?
the ball gag.
Boots.
Boots. You
You've
can get 3 boots
seen-
while the ball gag is going
How
in.
are you letting yourself get tied up and placed upside down?
Yeah,
on a
he
rig?
is hung
Oh.
like a championship shark. Like
He
he's
is-
like it's like we
What
caught
was
it.
his plan?
He is helpless. He cannot get out.
But
right?
by the way, though, he's seen multiple videos of other men in
Yeah.
that very position.
by the
He
way-
knew exactly what was going to happen.
But the cop is distracted by somebody coming over to him. It's like who the cop. Somebody
The guy that comes over to him is the guy in the bad wig with the
Oh,
Polish
right,
Elvis.
that's Polish Elvis.
That's what's even crazier. That
But-
guy, anyway, but I feel like that. So there's that scene, and the cop comes running in, and he shoots Jill Ripp's sister, and he's getting him down, and Dolph Lundgren is blindfolded. He's got the ball gag, and he's like writhing, and he's trying to say boots. And I really wanted the guy who shoots the woman to come in, take the ball gag out, and have Dolph be going like, I'm coming.
I mean, this
I mean,
get
come
up.
on.
And I know, and throughout, and I don't know, and this is where I'm always like curious. All right, this movie was shot in 2000. It's
Wait,
about
I
1960.
just noticed her in the background. She blends in. She's camouflaged so well.
I mean, I appreciate the suit work. It must be a lot of talcum powder to get in there. I mean, it's a
I can
very
only imagine.
tricky thing to get in because it looks like a one piece. What I don't understand is like this movie does seem to well, I guess it doesn't understand S&M. It's got some understanding of S&M. It's like the way that like sex is talked about in 50 Shades of Grey. It's like we understand that this exists, but we're fanficking some of it. And I feel like this getup, is this something that has ever existed?
you mean
the,
upside down?
the upside down fishing net?
Okay, no, this is called shibari. This is
Okay.
a Japanese knot. The rope and the knots are an actual thing.
Okay.
The hanging upside down, I genuinely don't know.
Anyone
and
in the
it
audience
seems like
been,
honestly a lot of men are down for it in this movie. Like a lot of men willingly get upside down.
I'm certain there's somebody in the audience who can give us some sort of expert
Anyone
insight.
ever?
Anyone want to speak?
You have a little. All right, here we go. Let's talk about it. All right, so I'll hold the mic. Hi.
So I traveled around the festival scene for a little bit, and at this place called Ignite, there was this guy called...
Hold on, can I just ask what you said? I traveled around the festival scene as if we all were like...
We are already... I have so many questions already.
The S&M festivals?
yeah, so just clue us in on that, and then yes.
So there was this festival called Ignite where you can learn how to fire spin. So I'm a fire spinner. Okay. And there's also where you can learn how to do shibari. And there was he was the gentleman pirate, and he would actually tie you up. And one time I got tied to a tree.
So you were tied to a tree. Now, like what? Like is shibari purely an S&M thing, or is that?
No, it's a lot of fun, and it's a form of art too. It doesn't really tie you up. It's not knots. You can just take it out, and that's the whole point of the fact that you can't tie up a samurai, but you can use a series of knots to subdue them. So especially when they're drunk, you can use that to subdue samurai.
Everything that you said is said so confidently.
How many? Wait a second.
And that I'm like, have I missed? Like,
How many samurai are on
clearly,
the festival circuit?
I believe everything that you say, and I have no judgment
Wait,
to it.
do
I
you
just
mean
feel
Renaissance
completely
festivals?
unaware.
No. What kind of festival?
Fire
spinning.
spinning festivals.
So fire spinning.
Where are those? What's a wait? What's okay?
It's
No,
called
I
Ignite.
actually
It's
know.
called Ignite.
Fire spinning
Ignite.
festival,
You get it's
Jason?
Ignite, but what's happening at the?
What else is happening besides fire spinning at the festival?
Oh, you learn how to joust. You can.
You're
sword.
trending towards Renaissance fair. Joust? You learn how to joust?
Silks.
Silks?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can do acrobats.
Okay.
So shibari is not always. It's just like human origami in a way. Like you let your body be a part of a knot, a living knot. Okay, that's. Well, there we got some answers.
I don't.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
But it does seem from that explanation it's pretty easy to get out.
Yeah. Has anyone ever? And again,
Does anybody else have?
we're in a safe space. Has anyone ever been hung upside down for an act of sex?
No one's going
judgment.
to. I will judge, so don't. I will.
Or did you have a friend who did, and you just know a lot about your friend? All right. So I do think that this is a movie that does take some liberties here.
The thing that I did find interesting was when Jill rips in the red bathrobe scene. We're not this scene. In the red bathrobe scene.
One of the best scenes.
One of the best scenes on film.
Yeah.
It's so long, but a movie. I felt like a movie like this would have traditionally and so many of the movies that we've seen would have put the people that are involved in shibari and BDSM and stuff in the villain category, and they gave Jill Rips all this time to explain to Dolph Lundgren the entire totality of what she's like experienced and all of this growth in a way that I was like, this is interesting that they're giving this much time to him getting educated to this.
And by the way, like she sold me on the experience.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, that sounds great.
Oh. I ordered rope after this movie.
It's like, I like what I'm hearing.
Well, now I guess we just have to talk about one other thing, and then we can ask the big question of what is this movie about? The other hanging thing in this movie is there is a guy, I believe he's the mayor, Big Jim, who's like, I'm going to bring a subway to this town. Very much like the Music Man. And then they make a very big deal out of it. It's cold, though. It's really cold. Like, are they digging in Hoth? Like, what's going on?
No, they have to have a cold room because of something. I couldn't figure that out either.
I didn't
but
know.
multiple of the fights take place in the cold room.
I just don't understand why, like, what the subplot,
Does
like,
Polish
underneath
Elvis
Boss.
work for that guy?
Yeah.
In what so they're bad guys too. I thought they were mobsters, but you're saying he's the mayor?
I think
He's the mayor. I gotta kiss a lot of ass, but I also build this. He goes, I'm bringing this city, this thing. Big Jim.
I think that Polish Elvis is.
Oh, he's a construction magnate.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he gets all the contracts but I think that Polish Elvis has his ear to the ground for S&M workers and maybe prostitutes and other sex workers, or is their pimp? I'm not sure. But either way, he's able to feed information on who those men are to Big Jim as collateral for him to.
Oh, that's why they have
okay.
the camera set up because
Yes.
that's the blackmail that Big Jim says
Because
he has
Big
on
Jim,
him. So
okay,
you're right.
June paid attention. So,
I was riveted.
I was further confused by you continue to call him the mayor. And I was like, well, wait a minute. I thought he was like a bad guy.
well, I mean, like
In Boston terms, he's the mayor.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Big Jim felt like a
Oh, yeah.
mayoral candidate. Like, I mean, but I did feel like I'm getting that confused with that new Daredevil show. I feel like he's like, I want to bring the city a subway. But I like, there is something about, all right, so now we've laid out all the major plot points. And now the question is, so what's the plot?
Well, and here's the thing that I don't think any of us understand, because it does seem that that a lot is going on in the subway. And that there's a line about the cold never bothered me anyway, which is from Frozen. That's also in this movie. And I was like, did Frozen take that line from this movie?
This movie is based
agree.
on a book. This movie is based on a book, and it's the same book that they based Frozen on.
Oh, wow.
No, seriously, I was like,
Frozen
two
did
sisters?
originally take
Like,
place
what?
in 70s Boston.
And Elsa was a victim of shibari.
Do you want to
by-
build a snowman?
Do you want to be tied up in shibari? By the way, that's a great shirt. Just Olaf in shibari upside down.
Does the cold never bothered me anyway?
But I didn't understand why she needed to be in the tunnels, because it did seem like she was heading there at the end.
Sorry, I just want to
Please.
tag the shirt, if you don't
Yeah.
mind.
Okay.
I think it should say naughty, Knotty, Olaf. It should say naughty Olaf.
Great.
It was a good interruption.
I'm
so
sorry.
that's a great.
I'm very sorry.
No, that's
Molly
worth
for
it.
doing
That
it.
was worth
All right,
it.
so wait, but you're right.
I just-
What's going on? Why is she going back to the subway at the end? Like there's no S&M place in the subway, right?
Not that I know
is
of.
she going to kill Polish Elvis, or because
She is.
killing?
That's true.
She's
She is.
killing all the men that she thinks could be the man that killed her mother, Mrs. Rips.
Ribs.
Rips, Mrs. Rips,
Rips.
Mrs. Rips.
Mrs. Rips,
Yes,
Mama Rips,
Mama Rips.
Mama Rips,
Mama Rips.
Mama
Wait,
Rips.
do you think her name
we are
is-
trying to get that financed right now?
Mama Rips.
If everyone gives
It's
us
a
$5
prequel.
at the door, we will double the budget of this movie.
It's a prequel story. Do you think her name is Jill Rips because she RIPs people?
Okay,
She
so I
kills
thought
them?
about this. I thought about this headline so much because I was like, okay, why didn't they say Jill the Ripper? And then are they saying Jill Rips like Jill has just ripped? Like
Yeah.
Jill rips again?
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
I
Or are
think
we
yeah.
calling her in the city Jill Rips?
So was she Jill the Ripper?
Ripper.
But then colloquially around town, Jill Rips. Did you see?
Or is
Jill
it
Rips
just
got
like-
another one.
Or
Oh.
is it just like she ripped again?
Oh, I heard Kenny got ripped.
Well, but
I heard Sully got ripped by Jill Rips.
like that's how you would describe it, because it's not like Jack the Killer. It's Jack the Ripper.
Yeah.
He's ripping up losers.
Right.
Right? You know, so
Okay, wait. Who's this guy?
ripping up losers, baby.
Okay, wait. Now it's Austin Powers?
But it's like, so yeah, she's ripping up deviants.
but
I
what
mean,
a weird headline.
Okay, so she's killing
And
anybody
movie
who
title.
could be the man who killed her mother.
wait, so she killed her brother? Or she killed her husband?
Yes.
Yes. Wow.
Oh.
Wow. Whoa. This is wild. You
I do
just
know-
rewatched it with me in there.
There was a lot going on at her house when Paul watched the movie.
He rewatched it with me here.
But the ending didn't make that super clear. He goes, "Did you get your man?"
She says
he was, once she found out he had the, well, first of all, the way they got together was confusing. I don't know if she sought him out because he was into S&M, or
I don't know either.
or if she was being honest in the bathrobe scene, which was, oh, I was just in this relationship, and then he revealed that he wanted this type of
Right, I remember
sex.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So but I don't know
She's
if that
a
was
very
true.
unreliable narrator.
Yes, she
to be
is.
clear. So
But
there
what
are-
I do think is true is that he was trying to ferry her off and her services to other
I
men
got
in his
that.
life.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
outright.
I got that.
She
yeah.
says that, and I do think that part is true. And so then he needed to die.
Yeah. Because
but-
anybody.
But didn't she enjoy it for a little bit?
Yes, I think
Yes.
she thought that they.
Well, me. She says it. I'm just really. Oh, I'm repeating the movie. I'm not saying she liked it.
Well, actually, no. I don't know, though. I don't know
I
because I
disagree
think
with
there's
Paul. I don't think she was asking
she
for it.
said it.
I do think there's a world in which she was in that scene convincing him to be interested in S&M.
To then help find
Yeah.
the person. That's what I thought, and then I felt like I didn't get the justification of like what changed, because I feel like she was like, "Come on, do this," and then that will help me do this, and then but why did she kill him?
Why didn't she?
Why did she?
She didn't. You mean the brother?
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Because and what I said also, what I responded with was because the
God.
brother was the brother was like trying to ferry her off to other men in his
But
life.
what I said, but she enjoyed it.
No, she didn't enjoy it.
Oh.
She didn't enjoy it. She was willing to indulge his predilections, but once he was trying to pimp her out to other men,
You thought
he
she
became
enjoyed
just
that?
I thought that's what she said.
No,
No,
Paul.
she never
That's what
said
you
that.
wanted to hear.
I thought she was telling this thing.
You thought she enjoyed being like
I didn't.
forced
I'm not
to do
you're not
this
saying,
with
I'm not.
his
This is.
friends?
I just thought I misheard it. I was working on the fucking PowerPoints. I was watching it and I was like, "Yeah, I get it. She liked it. Big deal. Let's go." And then I thought Polish Elvis was like, "You got to kill your husband because I got
Well,
some dirt on him."
I would have believed that. Like, that's the thing is, it wasn't, the reveals came so late
Yeah.
and so stacked on top of each other that I agree with you. It is very difficult because multiple people are revealing things that are then proven to be wrong.
Right.
And Dolph Lundgren is not really letting us in on his process of detective work because he's mostly just having his ass kicked forward into the next plot point, and he leaves that plot point usually unconscious.
Well, then let me ask one. Well, I'm revealing myself here, and I know that maybe the last 10 minutes of this movie was a little rushed for me, and I did rewatch it with you, and I feel comfortable asking this. But I'm nervous about
No,
asking.
because
it.
okay, so just so
This
you know,
is
at
a
the beginning
not
of
safe
tonight, I heard you ask the question. So we're gonna find out who is Jill Rips.
No, I
And
knew
I
that.
was
I just wanted to
worried.
make sure we were on the same page of who Jill Rips was.
Okay.
Because there's no Jill Rips. I mean, it's just her. Well, she's not Jill, right?
She's not what?
Oh,
She's not like her name isn't Jill.
No.
No.
I think that
The red woman in red, who is also the brother's wife,
wait, which red? There are two
Yeah.
women
the
in
full
red.
leather red.
Full
That's
leather
not
red
Jill
is
Rips.
is Jill Rips' sister.
See, I knew
Oh,
there
right.
was-
Yes. Sorry. Yes.
Okay.
That's Jill Rips' sister, who actually does have blonde hair.
So, but that person didn't kill
No.
Jill Rips' husband?
No,
No.
no, no.
But I thought that
but okay,
Irene did.
but it was in that space.
it was in that space the same way
Yes.
that could. All right.
But so you
wait.
could think, oh, maybe because Polish Elvis was there at the behest of Big Joe,
Yeah.
that maybe Big Joe and Polish Elvis convinced red leather woman
Yes.
Frances Reed to kill the brother, and
Yes.
that's the misdirect the movie is setting up.
Got it.
But when Dolph goes to the house and rips the boxes open and finds the blonde wig, he realizes she has been going into her sister's apartment and killing men who she thinks
Well,
are
the-
bad men.
Yeah, but the other way we
No?
know this.
To what end?
Thank you,
If you
somebody,
can-
for
no.
getting my.
If she can kill every bad man in the world, the man who killed her mother will have been killed.
Wow.
Doy, come on.
Okay. So
It's
then.
pretty easy, guys. I'm just kidding. It makes no sense.
So then I'm going to open myself to one more question.
This movie is like, what if Terrence Malick made one of these movies?
Well, my question is this. Is Jill Rips dead at the end? No. Okay, good.
No.
I thought that was the case, but I was too
Dolph
nervous.
Lundgren does think, oh, maybe she... No, that's the scene before. Okay, yeah.
Because he has that moment with her in the ice tunnel.
Yeah.
Which, again, I don't understand.
And she
The
delivers
Polish
a
Elvis-
powerful monologue in that scene.
Well,
it's sort of like America Ferrera's monologue at Barbie.
But
I loved
better?
it.
But better?
Probably a little better.
I mean, here it is. Yeah, I mean, I will play a second of it. Here we go.
Wait a second.
Irene.
Can you go back? I'm so sorry. Does he need to turn the flashlight on? Look how close. He has a gun on her and he's so close. It's not, he doesn't have to be like, is it her?
What I would also say is, as someone who's gotten a flashlight in my eyes, she's got great eye control.
Incredible.
Wide open, like not even worried about it.
Wait a minute. Is he holding a flashlight?
And his other hand. One hand is holding a gun. It's like
Okay.
this.
If he's holding a flashlight below the gun, there's no way it's getting her at that angle.
But why is it so bright behind him?
Yeah. Like, if it's that bright, he's backlit, which means the light from behind him is hitting
Should be on her.
He doesn't need a flashlight.
It looks cool, though, with the flashlight.
It's cool as hell. That's why this movie's awesome. Because it's absolute moron nonsense, but it's great.
All right, so here's her monologue.
You gonna shoot me, Matt?
You're a murderer.
So are you.
I'm a murderer. What about the people who murdered me?
Hang on.
You can take me after...
You don't know it's Kajabi.
It doesn't matter. He sells women. He's as bad as those who buy them. All those who are dead? Those who would steal the soul from somebody who was at their lowest point? It could have been any of the men who are dead now.
That's not enough. You don't have the right.
No, I don't have any rights. Same as when my mother was beaten to death and nobody bothered to look for her killer because she was a whore. Same as when my new father decided I could be a daughter and a mistress. The same as when your brother decided I wasn't good enough unless I accommodated his friends. There seems to be no end to the rights that I don't have.
You're going in.
Why do you come here?
No, Irene. Oh!
Ah, you.
What is Polish Elvis?
She runs right at him. She runs right at... He's got it up high. She could see it even in the fog.
Polish Elvis only carries large weapons. He has a silver shovel that I've never seen so clean.
So
Like he
clean.
just bought it from the hardware store. You know what? That's the moment that I needed to rewatch. I did not see that.
We did not rewatch
Right,
that.
and that is that's a
all of
pivotal
it.
moment. And this is the reason why I didn't want to rewatch 3 minutes of ads to rewind it. I was like, nah.
My question is, she has come here to kill Polish Elvis.
Yeah.
In fact, Dolph kills him. She gets conked on the head and now disappears, and we don't ever
Where is
really
Polish?
return.
Is Polish Elvis just in the cold room, like taking cold plunge?
Well, he works there because he
He's-
works for Mayor Joe.
Yeah,
But-
he's just got to check on the tunnels. And
But I
stuff.
mean, it seems like it seems pretty late at night.
Who knows?
And it also seems like the worker, and then they make a whole big deal, like the workers even have to take a break because it's so cold in there.
But how come we never find out why he wears that wig? Didn't you think somehow it was going to be
an
revealed?
improvised
No,
line.
I
That's an
think-
improvised line.
I know,
But he's wearing a crazy wig.
because I think what was supposed to happen, I think maybe it was this scene that we were supposed to just see both of their heads fighting and both of their hair next
Come
to each
off.
other in the smoke, and
Yeah.
Dolph Lundgren like trying to figure out
Oh,
where
yeah.
to shoot, and that just
I agree.
didn't work.
I have a feeling this is what happened. They go, wow, we got this guy, Polish Elvis. He's got a great voice, great look. Then he gets a set and he has the same haircut as Dolph Lundgren. Like, shit, we can't have Polish Elvis have the same haircut. You got to make him wear a wig. And then this guy's like, you're making me wear a wig? This is my fucking life. You can't hide my face. And then he gives a shitty performance. Like, well, now we got to dub him. So now you got this guy in a wig who talks like he's in a movie that is an old school kung fu movie. He talks very weird. And so I think that that's what's going on. I do believe that he was given a wig for some set, like some reason, because he goes, nice wig.
But why? I felt like the wig was going to come off and the accent would have been revealed to be fake because he's in fact somebody else.
I thought that it was going to be Jill Rips.
You
Thank you.
I would have loved it if
All
that
I
had
need
been
is one
Jill
person
Rips.
to get my back, and that's it.
If
Thank you.
Polish Elvis, if it's revealed that Jill Rips is the enforcer, the enforcer for Mayor Joe, that would be incredible.
That's what I would like to have seen.
Did anyone else notice that when they are investigating one of the murders that happens in the lair, in Jill Rips's lair, and the cops are in there, and another man's died, and the weapons are on top of him, and one of the sex instruments, it looks like some sort of a probe, has an insane amount of hair on it. Am I the only one who saw that? So much hair.
There was a lot of grisly imagery.
Oh,
Like,
the head,
the squashed head, the chopped
Didn't
up bodies.
need it.
When he bursts into that apartment and Mary is like cutting a guy's legs with a straight razor, and then they're like, hey, and the guy's like, hey, what do you do? I thought this was a cool place. I was like, this man would be screaming in pain. He doesn't.
When they describe the way that, like, the truck driver, like, yeah, the truck driver just accidentally ran over. He was already dead. The truck driver just ran over his head because he was delivering some melons to the fucking supermarket, you know? Yeah, he's bummed out, of course, but the guy is dead. They didn't really do anything. He just fucking ran over a dead body. No big deal. It was like, what is this? Like clearly they only had like a head that was already busted. It's like, it's not even part of the plot.
This movie doesn't obey, and I don't know what genre this is. Like, do you have the dream sequence?
Okay, I want to talk about this dream sequence.
Where did this come from? Why aren't there 4 more of these in the movie? I thought this was nuts. And so visually arresting.
Well, like, he's walking, I don't even know if I have that.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if I have that scene, but when
he's being dragged, he's tied in shibari rope, he's being dragged across like an icy road, his face and chest are all bloody, and the Polish Elvis is dragging him, right?
Well, I don't know if we even see it.
No, the dominatrix is on the hill above.
She's on like Batman or like Catwoman standing on a thing.
Like it's a Die Antwoord video or something. I was like, what the fuck is this? This is like the band The Fever. Give me this all day, every day.
It really was so watchable. I
agree.
Couldn't take my eyes off the screen.
And I had no idea what was going on, but I found it so compelling.
Yeah.
Well, now, I do know, and Pete, the S-Man, he brought the original novel. What's the original title of the novel? Jill Rips. Okay, because this movie was called Jill Rips. Well, the original script was very close to the novel, and then they kind of deviated far from it. The novel had been described as harrowing. Grim poetic vision makes it the best novel of its kind for years. The Sunday Times said that it's violent and vicious and brutal, and its tale is bedded down in imagination like a succubus. And the Daily Express called it a tautly and skillfully written, genuine, can't put it down, turn off the telly read. And the person who wrote the novel, Frederick Lindsay, said that this movie is a travesty of good.
Wow.
Of a good and serious novel. The script, as the book, was set in present day, and then they changed that to make it the 70s. And you know, he said the 70s is when the S&M scene was actually more alive. And then the other thing was, this movie is also called Tied Up.
Okay.
Jill Rips is like a later, like.
I don't mind Jill Rips. I mean, it makes zero sense.
Tied Up is a little bit better.
Tied Up is a better movie.
And you maybe have like, you know, Dolph Lundgren with like a phone, like Tied
Can
Up.
I ask you a question? When Dolph Lundgren and Jill Rips have their sex scene, not the tied up upside down, but the sex scene in the room where they're careening all over the place, is that in the mom's house?
No, that's at a hotel.
It's in a hotel. Okay. Thank
Yeah.
you. I tuned out for a second, tuned back in, and I was like, this is a loud sex scene. Is the mom
It also
there?
didn't look pleasant. It didn't look pleasant to me, that sex scene. I didn't like it.
I didn't mind it.
I didn't mind it either.
I thought it was great.
Fun thing,
didn't mind
fun
it
little
either.
fact about that dream sequence or that knocked out sequence when he's unconscious and feeling like he's going to get all cut to pieces. Dolph Lundgren insisted that he shoot his stuff inside, and then they made that actress shoot all of her stuff outside in the freezing cold.
Oh my God.
Not in the same scene. So let's go to the audience and
Just
see
a
what
quick
questions
question,
you
and
have.
maybe we can take it to the audience. Why were the tapes being dropped off to the police department?
Unclear.
As
What-
blackmail, I think as
I know-
to say,
I
hey,
know-
we have blackmail on you.
Blackmail in the police department?
They got blackmail on everybody.
Yeah.
Because I know
Oh,
Conway.
you mean the tape of the snuff film that
Yeah.
that they all go in and watch?
Yes, together. Why is that tape dropped off there?
Yeah.
Are already happening, so now they're investigating the murders instead of holding it for.
Right, but who
All
sent
right, so
them that reel to reel, do we think? Because the guy comes in, he's like, we got another tape of the murder.
Well-
What?
It must have been Polish Elvis.
Well, Polish Elvis is sending those tapes in.
He is?
So sometimes
But
he's using it to
Why?
Why?
Wouldn't that make it bad for them?
Maybe they just have an excess of tapes. They're like, you know what? We've run out of blackmail material. Because that's like at one point when, he's driving that limo or doing donuts in the parking lot and Dolph Lundgren, did you kill my brother? I didn't need to. I already got what I needed on that guy.
That was a real thing, I feel like. And again, I feel like this movie, it's, I guess, representing the 70s, but I think it's an 80s movie. Just to drive someone out of control makes them reveal all secrets. Just to be like, there's a madman behind the wheel. I'll tell you anything you want to know.
It also seems like Dolph Lundgren would kill himself. So, as a bad guy, you have
That's
to think,
always the question.
yeah, it's like if a bad guy, you have to be like, I don't think he's going to kill himself.
No, he's too handsome.
All right, yes, your name and your question. I'll hold the mic.
My name's Hank. My question is about Mary O,
Okay.
who we mentioned briefly before. He breaks and enters upon Mary O 3 different times.
Yeah.
At the end of the movie, he frames Mary O. He's left scot-free. My question is, how are we supposed to morally reconcile what happens to Mary O? Because
can.
he shoots her in the chest after breaking and entering.
By the way, it's a brutal death.
She does shoot first. She shoots twice at him.
In self-defense.
Well, but here's how we come to terms with it morally. He adopts her dog.
Wow.
And and seems to have a very nice relationship with the dog at the end, which I was very relieved by.
All right, so, sir, what's your name?
David.
David, all right, so you are carrying a copy of Jill Rips.
Whoa. Actually, hang on. Raise the book up if you came here with Jill Rips. Okay, it's only these 2 weirdos? Okay. Okay, you 2 weirdos can talk after.
It's a big book. It is a big book. All right, so what do you want to share about this?
Well, the book sort of explains why it's so cold in the tunnel, which they don't address in the movie, which is that they're freezing the ground to make the ground more stable, to excavate it.
Sure, why not?
Great.
Anything else? I'm curious,
They
there
murder
anything...
the dog in the book. He strangles the dog, sadly. So I was happy that the movie changed that. And the part that makes more
During
sense
sex?
is the
dog liked it. Don't worry about it.
It was all in London, so the murders happened on Jack the Ripper's murder dates, and it was in London. So that was why it was Jill the Ripper.
The book is in London?
Yeah, and so obviously when they cast Dolph Lundgren, they're like, oh, he can't be British anymore. So they changed everything, and then nothing makes sense anymore.
Well, maybe they thought it
Why
was
not-
Dolph London.
Why then keep it be? Why have it be about Jack the Ripper? Why not have it be about, if you're going to relocate it to Boston, the Boston Strangler? Why not have it be called
Does not
Jill
make
Strangles?
sense. And also he, in the book, he doesn't drink and he just drinks tea.
Wow.
I don't mind that.
Pete, Pete the S-Man, do you have any more
June,
book
how do you feel
I do
about that?
mind
Do you have
that.
any book facts as we go to the book part of the show?
Malcolm is the brother, Dolph Lundgren's brother. His name is Malcolm. Does not die in the book.
What?
So, what's the
not
inciting
murdered.
incident? What starts the whole
I
thing?
mean, there's so much. I mean, I'm going to let out the big one right away, is that Polish Elvis Kajavi, he is the father of Jill the Rips.
Oh.
Whoa.
Wait, do you mean
They are father and daughter.
So that's why they look alike?
yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
Wait a second. Follow-up question. When you say father, you don't mean Mr. Reed father who adopted her and had sex with her sister.
biological father.
The mother who had the two girls, one of them is Irene, who is Jill the Rips in the movie. She had, this woman had two males, two husbands, and one of them was Polish Elvis, and Polish Elvis did kill her. That's what was also so weird. Is
So the end of the movie,
Yeah.
she has successfully found the man that killed her mother.
Yeah, they
It's
did it actually-
her biological father.
I believe, because at a certain point, the book and the movie are crisscrossing. The murder happened in, what's the woman? The woman, the nurse
Mario.
outfit.
Mario.
It happened in her. They kill her, and then they lured him, Polish Elvis, into.
Got it.
And Dolph Lundgren's character was trying to stop her and say, like, let's just arrest him. She's like, no, I'm going to kill him. Wow. Yeah.
It seems like
Here's
when you
my
have
question.
a
That is
clean
a
plot
so
like that,
helpful.
why
That's
would
a
you throw it
huge
away?
reveal. And I've got to ask David, why didn't you mention any of that?
I did have some questions for David after that.
David, you had first crack at book knowledge, and you
And
gave
it's
us crumbs.
He's
This
telling
guy's
us
sitting
about
on gold.
why we're stabilizing the grounds of Boston to put a
You're
tunnel
giving us,
in.
I mean, yeah, I'm
we've
grateful
been
for the cold
asking-
room info.
Thanks,
but wow.
We've been asking the whole podcast, like, why are they in the same wigs?
David,
Like, why?
David walked so Pete could run.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, he set us up to
I
get
do
it.
want them to get a picture afterwards in the courtyard, please.
All right, yes. Here we go. Let me get a person. Come over here. What do you got?
I'm Corey, and I was curious if you all felt that there were some Lynchian elements thrown into this for just like for the sake of, oh, this is weird. This is just what we're gonna show. This is like, why the hell not? And also if they pitched it to Lundgren as, hey man, this is your cruising. This is your Pacino moment. You get to do your cruising.
It definitely felt like he was doing a Pacino. He was in the first half of the movie. He is doing a different performance than the second half of the movie, fully, and he's doing stuff in those early scenes at the funeral, at the wake. He's doing it. He's wasted all the time. It's a
But
whole
I have
performance.
to say that I never felt like he was pushing. I really didn't. I was like, this is an interesting performance. I don't understand it, but I believe it. I believe that this is a strange man acting really weird.
I will say, as far as the Lynchian tropes, that to me reeks of budget. Because like there are moments when they're in like the S&M, house or whatever, whatever the location is, where it's just like cage, red light, open spaces, like the tunnel's a lot of smoke, nothing discernible, lights are off.
I think I agree with Paul. It is accidentally Lynchian.
Yeah,
and
it's like, we got some red
combination-
gobos and tweenies, and we can make that work.
Because also there are scenes where it's like real fuzzy, where it's like moody and weird in a way that I'm like, oh, this is just out of focus, and this is what they had to use. I don't necessarily think it's always purposeful, but I do think it cuts together into a pretty compelling movie.
Did anyone else notice that? I think I'm right here. I almost went back and rewatched, but I didn't. But in this sex scene, first of all, it's full frontal nudity. The movie is not what you think at points. And he rips her jeans down. I thought she was either not wearing underwear or wearing like very dark underwear. Then, like in the post-coital scene, she gets up, and I believe she's wearing his underwear. Is she?
That's when you know you have good sex, when you swap underwear.
Wow.
It's like that
Okay.
scene in Zoolander when they have
Okay.
like the model off and he pulls the underwear off. Like that's what you
Yeah.
do. If you have good sex, you get your underwear on somebody else and they don't
just
even know.
fits her so snugly.
I feel like, and I don't know how you feel, and I am curious, June, specifically, I'm rooting for Dolph and Jill Rips.
1,000%.
Like, I want them to be together at the end.
1,000%.
Like,
First of all,
like bad.
me too. And I felt like that was another sort of with the movie sort of, it got there, but they have, again, in the red robe scene, they are connecting very intimately. And I thought the sex scene was great. I was like, they
Really?
connect sexually. Yes, Paul.
Wait, I'm curious.
I thought it was great.
I'm just curious. From the audience, I guess, round of applause if the sex scene worked for you. Okay, didn't work? Interesting. A lot of people sitting on
didn't
their
vote.
hands. A lot of people like,
Yep.
I know a trap when I see one. This is a trap.
They sat
This is a
out
trap
this election.
scenario.
They sat out. It seemed to me,
Why
though,
didn't you clap?
it seemed that they were the only two people in the world who could really understand each other. And they were meant to be together. I guess I love this movie.
Yes! June and I'm here to say, Team Fred is also Team Mr. and Mrs. Rips. And I guess, Paul, that's yours, because you don't believe that they are connected. You are, Team Sanity is...
Oh, no, I'm just saying I just felt that...
I think you were grossed out by the sex scene because it was in a disgusting hotel room, which I did think about. I
think I just felt like...
Oh, she touched her bare butt to the TV.
Yeah.
I
definitely-
a few
Honestly,
things.
get tested.
All I'll say is I thought the sex scene, I felt like there was a lot of pent-up aggression there, and I felt like he was definitely more in a position of power, and I wanted her to get...
I thought she was getting in there.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
All right.
she was getting it. I mean, remember, she is a murderer.
Right, true. All right, what's your question?
Wait, let me ask you this. I'm curious about this. I loved all of the different setups that when he would burst into Mary's apartment, she was always in a session. She's the one I mentioned with the cutting the man's leg, which I didn't appreciate. But the one that really got me was the guy who's tied up with his head in the oven, who I'm just like, what is this guy's Sylvia
my
Plath
God.
kink? He's like, Ted Hughes is just really riding me. I gotta check out.
That's an S&P.
These are my Sylvia Plath jokes.
S&P. That's
S&P, S&M, S&P.
Yeah, S&P. Obviously, we had opinions about this movie, but there are people out there with a different opinion. It is now time for Second Opinions.
Hi, I'm Kat. All right. Irene wants to thank you for giving her some time to breathe. Dolph was waiting so damn patiently while she got it together. While she binded some boys, oh yeah. Don't say to look, but never touch. Till Big Jim slap your girl, so now we are stabbing mans and making plans. And it's lucky for me you understand just what a girl wants, what a Jill wants, whatever second opinions help to set you free. And I'm thanking you by giving you 5 stars. What a Jill rips, what a Jill needs, whatever keeps that dog from killing me. And I'm thanking you for that second opinion.
Yeah, give it up. Great job.
Great.
Wow. Surprisingly, not that many second opinions on Jill Rips. 9. 9 reviews. Might be an all-time low. 9 total reviews. Here's a twist. All in German.
Was this wait, is Dolph Lundgren German?
No.
No. He could be.
Out of those 9, 47% are 5-star, 0% are 1 stars. Well, I'll just get into it. This one is from Bianca. Bianca titles her review, Exciting Thriller with S&M Background. At some point, I have reviewed the youth version of this movie. However, the 18-plus version is a lot better.
I have questions.
Bianca goes on to describe the movie and then says, there are totally humorous passages in this film. For example, Matt's visit to the S&M studio. Simply delicious. A really worthy seeing movie. 5 stars.
That's very German.
Then we get from Son of Winslow. Now this is how you make a sleazy psychosexual thriller. Ty West, take notes.
Wow.
Feels like a Skinamax-infused episode of Batman shot in Estonia circa 1999.
This person has a spec script.
Now, I will say Dolph Lundgren did have some thoughts.
Great.
We hit the Wayback Machine on DolphLundgren.com as he wrote a blog post about it. And Dolph wrote, this is the first time I did a thriller. Doesn't have as many action scenes as my films normally do. At one point, I end up hanging upside down, being molested by this leather-dressed woman with a whip. She is the killer, and of course, it's kind of tough for me to solve the mystery.
She's not the killer.
She's not.
Let's be clear. He's also misunderstood the movie.
This is from the words of Dolph here. She is the killer, and of course, it's kind of tough for me to solve the mystery from that position, but somehow I managed to do it anyway.
No! He doesn't.
On this picture, I spent a lot of time rehearsing because a lot of the scenes had more dialogue than other films I've done. It's a good experience to really work on the performance. I discovered you could get a lot out of a picture without carrying the biggest machine gun around, so to speak.
I love it.
Great.
I love it. I want to start calling things pictures again.
I like calling it a picture. There is
that and analyst. Oh, I was talking about the pictures with my analyst the other day.
The one interesting fact is that Tom Berenger was attached to star in this, but dropped out, and then Dolph came in, and the director says it's Dolph's best acting to date.
Agreed.
And but apparently Dolph and the producer argued way too much because Dolph really liked to do dissolve transition edits for the film. And at one point they did say that he gave 378 editing notes.
Okay, by the way, you two described that opening sequence of those kids watching with the police boats right there. I thought that was a dissolve.
I think it was.
It definitely
Yeah.
was.
Oh, it
right?
is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then I looked away, or I didn't notice that. I thought
all right. I
those
just wanted
kids
to
were,
be clear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was
but-
one of Dolph's dissolves.
I didn't know about the other double D's in this movie.
A couple of these editing notes, which I thought were funny, Dolph made them reshoot the cemetery scene, which is all of 20 seconds, because he didn't think his face was in it enough. And then they did a lot of editing. Apparently, the bathrobe scene was 8 pages. They got that down to 3.
I would love to see the full cut of that.
Oh, it was still at least 8 minutes long.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So I mean,
I
imagine
couldn't believe how long that scene was. That
Yeah.
was incredible.
So like that's where Dolph got in there, and they're very upset because the original scene of Dolph's getting cut up by the woman in his passed out dream was a lot more violent, but they thought that made the movie too dark.
I also
Release the Dolph cut.
Yeah. Release the DC. Release the DC.
Well, I mean, I think, are there any final thoughts? I mean, we know that this is one of the best movies that Dolph has done.
This movie rips.
This movie does rip. I couldn't believe. I guess I was just watching it and I was like, wow, we have more work to do. for this movie to have been out there.
Yeah.
And to have not known about it.
For us to only now be finding about cold ground.
I mean,
for us to only now, 15 years in, be finding out about Jill Rips. Like truly one of the greats. When we started this podcast, the movie was 10 years old. How is that possible? What world are we living in? Oh, we're living in Jill Rips' world.
You know,
I loved it. I mean,
I did too.
I cannot recommend this enough.
So we highly recommend that you watch Jill Rips, even though there is no Jill. The book does not help, but it does give us some details in the background of it. The movie was made in 2022.
Whoa, no.
Just joking. 20. So that's it.
Guys.
We did it.
Wow. We ripped it.
What a great show. Great to be back at Largo. What a crowd. Thank you to everybody who showed up. And remember, you can find us anywhere you want online at HDTGM. A big thank you to our producers, Scott Sani and Molly Reynolds, and our movie picking producer, Avril Halley, as well as our engineer, Casey Holford. We'll see you next week on Last Looks. Bye for now.